Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. What a week last week was. Last week was my birthday week and there were so many things that happened, including the launch of my podcast, Chiseled and Called, which you guys, it is currently trending at number 4 in the Christianity category and the spirituality religion category, which I was in tears. You guys saw that. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. That was the best birthday present ever. And then of course, Jordan spoiled me. He is just literally the best husband in the world. I'm truly so grateful for him. He told me to pack a bag. We left, we went to Dallas for a day and a half and it was just so much fun. I loved every second of it. It has been a wild week. My eyelashes keep sticking together. It's Monday. I love Mondays. Most people don't, but I genuinely love Mondays. It feels like a fresh start to a new week and I have so much to get done this week. I am actually heading to a coffee shop right now to write. That is what a lot of my week actually looks like. I think people have this idea in their head that influencers we sit around and we take videos and we take photos all day. And honestly, I would say 85% of my time is spent on writing or editing. I'm not even kidding. I spend so much time behind the scenes doing things. And now that the podcast is in the picture, it just takes everything to a whole different level. So that is what I'm heading to a coffee shop to do right now. I've got my Bible, I've got my meal prep. I also have a dermatologist appointment today. I contribute that to my years of tanning in a tanning bed when I was young, dumb, and reckless, which was my teen years and early 20s before it was really frowned upon. I feel like my skin is dealing with the consequences of that, and I have a spot on my leg that I need to go get checked out because it has been there for about 2 months and it's not going away, and I'm like, this is a little alarming. It's probably nothing, and I'm believing in Jesus' name that it's nothing, but your girl's going to get it checked out because we're not going to take any risks. But right now we're going to a coffee shop, and today I'm going to be sharing 31 things today. 31 things that I have learned in 32 years of life. I hope this helps you out and maybe saves you guys from some of the mistakes that I've made in 32 years of life. Okay, I just left the coffee shop. I am eating my meal prep before I head to this dermatologist appointment. And this brings me to the first thing that I have learned in 32 years of life now. Number 1 is you have permission to be your own best friend. For so many years, I had unhealthy attachment issues. I had unhealthy coping mechanisms. I was so fearful of people leaving me because of my past that I would literally just cling to them, and being clingy is not cute. Whether that's a friendship, a relationship, a marriage, everyone needs their own space. Everyone has their own personal bubble. And if I could go back and tell myself one thing, it would be to learn to be your own best friend. There were times in my life where I was fearful of ever having to eat by myself in my car. I felt so depressed when I thought of that. Eating lunch by myself made me feel so sad. And you guys, this is peaceful. This is so peaceful because I can turn worship on. I can block out distractions for even just 10 minutes of eating lunch on the go in my car by myself and find peace and find God in the middle of that. Even Jesus had to leave his disciples to go be in the wilderness with God. Jesus went to be alone. And if Jesus had to be alone, what makes you think that you don't need to be able to do that too?
Hello.
Hello?
What are you doing?
I'm all clear.
It's good?
Yeah, everything's
Okay,
good. Nothing to be worried about. They didn't even have to remove anything.
Okay, good, baby.
Okay, I just got to coffee shop number 2. It is one of those kind of Mondays, you guys, where I have so much to do. And if I go home, I'm gonna get distracted with laundry and cleaning and doing all the things that can wait instead of doing the things that need to get done. So I am at another coffee shop. I don't usually ever go to 2 coffee shops in one day, but it's just that kind of a day. I wanna share my second thing that I've learned in 32 years of life with you guys. You have permission to pivot at any point in your life, no matter what anyone says. You are not stuck in this season. You are not stuck doing what you're doing now. If you don't like what you're doing, you have permission to change. If you don't like who you are, you have permission to change. If you aren't comfortable in your own skin, you have permission to change. If you don't like how you dress, you have permission to change. If you don't like the way your hair looks, you have permission to change. If you don't like the way you do your makeup, you have permission to change. If you don't like the people you're hanging out with, you have permission to change. If you don't like the people around you influencing your everyday life, you have permission to change. You are not stuck. You are not a tree. And that is something that I had to learn the hard way, and I wish I would have told myself that so many years ago. I mean, I genuinely look like I have a coffee addiction, you guys. Okay, I just got back home from the coffee shop. It looks like it's gonna rain outside, so that's awesome. I was planning on going to the lake here in about an hour. Don't think that's gonna happen now. So the next thing that I wish I would have known and that I have learned in 32 years is that your worth is not determined by the size of your jeans or the number on the scale. And had I known that, I would have saved myself so many problems, you guys. I thought that I was only worthy of being loved if I was a certain size, if I was a certain number on the scale. If there's one thing that I have learned in 32 years of life, is that the people who genuinely love you, the people who care about you, who want you in their life, do not care about the size of your jeans or the number on a scale. I have literally never had anyone ask me, anyone, besides maybe someone like at a clothing department store helping me find clothes to wear, like try on. I have never had anyone ask me what size I am. That is just such an invasive question. It doesn't matter. And we're living in a time where like that is being fully embraced now. I love that I've broken free from that stigma, because it just had me captive for so many years, and I know it still has so many women captive. The Lord had to walk me through a process of deliverance for that, because it had such a stronghold on my life for so many years, especially coming from the fitness industry. Yeah. The next thing, if someone wants to exit your life, politely hold the door open for them. People that don't know if they want to be in your life do not deserve your presence, period. The next thing I've learned in 32 years of life, stop listening to what others said you should do and start listening to what God said you should do. I don't know who needs to hear this, but they did not hear from God for you. Sure, they might get prophetic words here and there, but they are not a vessel for your listening ear from God. That is a very dangerous place to put someone. You're not only putting them on a pedestal as if they can hear from God better than you, but you are now letting them dictate how you're going to move forward with your life. I have made this mistake in my life. I have let people tell me what they heard God tell me to do. No. That is a huge red flag. It has gotten so dark outside and it's only 5 o'clock. It's been staying light here until like 7:30, 8 now, because it's that time of the year we had daylight savings time. We're doing taco bowls for dinner, and I just recently started doing something different to help plan our meals out. So we always try to plan meals out on Sunday afternoons, like right before we go grocery shopping. I was like, why have I never thought of this before? But I use my Google Calendar. That is how I plan all my things. Not only that, but I have an ongoing to-do list in my notes section as well as my planner. So I have like 3 calendars. My Google Calendar is like the know-all be-all. Like it has everything in there. It has dinner dates, it has date nights, it has my workouts, it has everything in there. Why haven't I never put our dinners in there? So basically what I did is I made a specific color for our meals at night. That way I can plan ahead. Last night we had chicken. Jordan is definitely calling me. Tonight we're having taco bowls.
Hello?
Hi.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Well, baby, I just left the...
Good morning, YouTube. It is day 2. I am going to be vlogging all throughout today too. Maybe tomorrow as well. It might be like a 3-day vlog. I don't really know yet. We'll see how and what the day holds. But I have a jam-packed day right now. The only reason why I'm wearing makeup to Pilates, that's where I'm going. I'm heading to Pilates. The only reason why I'm wearing makeup to Pilates is because I have a podcast interview literally right after. I'll have enough time to get a coffee and maybe read through a few emails. And then I'm going on a walk with Kelly at the lake. Then we have church tonight. So it's just gonna be boom, boom, boom. We have church every other Tuesday night. So it's like a women's and men's small group. And we love it. We love going. It is currently 48 degrees outside and I'm wearing toe socks. My feet are so cold, but I'm gonna go to Pilates. I haven't been to Pilates in like almost 2 years, but I was like, you know what? I really miss it. So we're gonna start going again. I'm going to be so sore tomorrow because I remember the first time I ever did Pilates and I was like, what is life right now? And it's gonna be a busy, productive day. Number 7 is this. I said that really weird. Just because God is asking you to forgive them does not mean that he's asking you to let them back into your life. I cannot tell you how many times the Lord has quickly removed people from my life, and there comes a point where I'm like, should I let them back in my life? Should I not? And then I have to sit on the thought that and remember that every time God has removed someone from my life, it has been for a very, very good reason. God sees things that you don't. God hears things that you don't. God is in conversations that you you aren't in. Conversations that are being had behind your back, conversations with malicious intent, conversations that could destroy or harm you. God is protecting you. And if you don't think for a second that God won't remove someone that he sees unfit for you, he absolutely will. And he will remove them in a millisecond. Is it gonna hurt? Yes. Is it gonna be hard to forgive them? Yes. But as Christians, we are called to love even our enemies. So if they started as a friend and then they became an enemy, you are called to forgive them. And that is really hard, but just because you are called to forgive does not mean that God is asking you to let them walk through that door again. Love them, but love them from a distance. That is a sermon that we'll preach. Okay, Pilates was amazing. I have not done Pilates in about a year and a half, and it says that I burned almost 300 calories in a 50-minute class. So hot dog, so happy about that. Right now I'm stopping to get a coffee because that is how I'm going to treat myself. Decaf, of course, putting all my rings back on. And I'm gonna write a little bit and answer some emails before this podcast interview. I've got to get back home for that, and I also need to change because hashtag not very professional. My next thing that I've learned in 32 years of life that I would tell my younger self, number 8, I think. The only people who will scoff at your boundaries are the ones who were benefiting from the lack of them. When you have this revelation, years ago I had this revelation of like, aha, I need to start setting boundaries for people. When I started doing that, I got pushback from all the people in my life who did not like them, who were benefiting from my lack of boundaries, who were basically feeding off of that. So pretty self-explanatory, but that is something I've learned. And number 9, the best glow up you can get comes from Jesus. We are making flank steak and green beans, and I'm working on making some roasted potatoes.
They're not roasted.
They're not yet.
My part's done and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is not.
You know who else is beautiful? You. Okay, we just finished cooking dinner. It was amazing. We did flank steak, potatoes, and green beans. The next one, which I think is number 12, is if something feels off, trust that. That's not your gut feeling. That is discernment from the Lord, and you need to follow and listen to that. And the next thing is God gives, but he also takes away. Make sure in this season you are grateful for everything you've been given. The house you live in, the roof you sleep under, the car you drive, the shoes on your feet, the food on your plate, all the little things, because God gives, but he also can take away. It is just icky and gross and rainy outside today, and I am not a fan of it. Good morning. It is now day 3. I still haven't finished this vlog. You know what? It's just been one of those weeks where there's literally been so many things going on. Right now I'm heading to get coffee with Jamie Lynn. You guys are going to know her if you don't already because she's going to be on my podcast. I actually think she's going to be on next week's episode. Yes, so excited about that. Also, who am I wearing lime green today with blue nails? I really am liking this color. Like, I don't know why colors have been so fun for me lately. It's a good change. It's a really good change of pace. The next thing that I've learned in 32 years of life is that when you learn to sit at the table with your Judas, which means like your enemy, whoever it is, I have a mint in my mouth, sorry guys, that is when you will come to understand the love of Christ, the way and the depth in which he loves us. Whew. That is a quote that literally changed my life, that changed my perspective on all the trolls, all the people with loud voices online. Like, a lot of people ask, how do you deal with it? That is how I deal with it. Jesus. It is only by the blood of Jesus. The next one, the right man, the man that God has for you, will learn your past and your past trauma so that he knows exactly how you need to be loved. I cannot stress this enough. There were so many times in my life where I was trying to make things work with just people in my past, guys that were not the right ones for me. And y'all, that was one of the reasons that I knew Jordan was the one pretty right away, like pretty soon off. It was because he wanted to learn about my past. He wanted to have the hard conversations. He wanted to know the trauma, the things that I had been through. He wanted to know all of that. And he didn't weaponize it or use it against me like men in my past had. He used it in a means almost like a manual of how I needed to be loved. And he has loved me that way since the first day we met. The next one, do not fall in love with potential. And I am preaching to the choir on this one because I've been there before, sister, and most of us have. We all have to go through the bad apples to find the right one, but potential is not going to protect you, provide for you, or lead you in marriage, period. End of story. Sure, there are situations where potential turns into the final end result, whatever that is. There's definitely situations and marriages in which that is the case, but I'm telling you, that is not always the case. And the next one, God will only close doors to lead you to the open ones that he has. He is only going to close doors with the intent of opening a better one. He is a good God. He is a faithful God. He is a steadfast God. He knows the plans he has for our life, and he knows what is best for us, even in the moments where we feel like God is doing something terrible. The moments where you're like, God, this hurts, this sucks, this breaks my heart. I don't know why you're doing this in my life right now. He still knows what is good, and he is still God. He sits on the throne. He is the king that sits on the throne of our hearts. And if he doesn't, he wants to. So just that little side note, he wants to lead you down a path that leads to life and leads to him. He doesn't want to see you walk down a path of destruction. So if he closes a door, sister, trust that he has something better, because he does. And the last one that I'm gonna do right now, if a guy makes you uncomfortable, you do not have to be nice to him. I'm gonna say that again for anyone that needs to hear that a second time. If a guy makes you uncomfortable, you do not have to be nice to him. We live in a world where there are a lot of creeps and just ick. There is a time and a place to be nice and sweet, and there is a time and a place to say, get away from me, stop approaching me. Like, I've been in those situations, and I'm so grateful that that switch flipped, because you just never know. You never know. Okay, I'm back home. I just had some lunch. I'm gonna go on a run real quick. It's actually really nice out. My next thing is, in a lust-filled world, it is a beautiful thing to remain a mystery and save sex for marriage. Speaking from experience, there are so many things I could talk about on this topic alone, and I cannot wait to do so on the podcast on Chiseled and Called. You guys, it is a beautiful thing to wait for marriage. The world won't tell you that, but I will. Your big sister, I will. The next thing is be nice to everyone you see. We are all fighting a battle behind the scenes, whether you realize that or not. The next thing, while I'm changing, is you don't need permission from others to change into the woman or man, if you're watching and you're a man, that you need to be. The next thing, God can do a lot more with your scared yes than he can with you living in fear. Okay, I just finished a run/walk. My ankle is still kind of getting back to its full, like, it's recovered, but I'm trying to ease my way back into running because I don't want to be a hero. I've said that before. Don't be a hero with your workouts. That's how injuries happen, clearly. I'm back and I'm healthy again, so now I'm just trying to ease my way back into my longer runs. I just did 6 miles around the lake, and I wanted to read the next thing. My next thing that I have learned is memories over material. You are never going to look back in your past and say, oh my gosh, you remember when I bought that jacket? Like, wow, I mean, maybe you would say that, like, if it was like a really memorable moment, but for the most part, you're never gonna look back and say, wow, do you remember when I bought that purse? Wow, do you remember when I got that jacket? No, you're gonna look back and say, wow, do you remember that trip we went on, or that dinner at the park that we had that one night with the sunset and just talking about life? Those are the moments that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. At least for me, memories over materials. Hello, it is day 3. I am just not doing a good job at vlogging this week, and guess what? That's okay. There's grace there. There's been so many things going on this week. Just a lot of moving pieces, and yeah, I want to show you guys something. This is a win for me. An outfit like this, like just super casual jeans, Nikes, and a little t-shirt. I never would have worn this. I never would have worn this. The back of this shirt says God is everywhere. And that leads me to my next point, my next lesson that I've learned in 30 Tiers of Life. And it's this: the house, the right marriage, the car, the body to show off, it's not gonna fill a void that literally only Jesus can. I've had to learn that the hard way. Sorry guys, dogs. I've had to learn that the hard way. You can have all of those things, and if you don't have a heart filled with the Holy Spirit, filled with Jesus, you're gonna still feel that void. You're still gonna feel empty. Okay, I just got to the coffee shop. I have so much work to do, so much editing, so much writing. We're recording a podcast tonight, so I've got to work on that. Just a lot of things going on, so I can't wait to like focus and just have like a few hours of just uninterrupted time. But I wanted to share my next point before I do that. And it is this: there is a time and a place to speak up, and there is a time and a place to sit quietly. And before you open your mouth, pray and ask for discernment and wisdom, because when you speak out, when you say something, those are words that you cannot take back, ever. Like, you can never take those back, whether it's to a person, on a social media platform, whatever it is. You can't take those words back. And I've learned that the hard way. I've learned that in really good situations where I kept my mouth quiet, and I'm grateful that I did. Yeah, so use discernment. We do not know what's best for us. God does. And when you yield to the Holy Spirit, when you yield to what the Lord is asking you to do, including with your words and when to speak and when to be quiet, He is so faithful. He's so faithful to guide us. Okay, I'm going to try to wrap this vlog up because I have to pack. I'm going on a girls trip tomorrow, and I'm also going to get a pedicure real quick. I've been working all afternoon on my laptop since I got home from the coffee shop. So my last 2 points are this. Don't ask for what you have yet to offer. What do you mean by that, Brittany? Do not ask for something if you do not have that to give yourself. Do you want a good friend? Be a good friend. Do you want to find a spouse, a God-fearing spouse? Be a God-fearing woman. Do you want to be treated with respect? Respect those around you. You cannot ask for something if you do not have it to give yourself. And I've learned that the hard way because we live in a world where everything we say and do is reciprocated. How you treat others is how you're going to be treated in relationships, in friendships, even with family. And my very last thing, and this is going to be so out of left field, but this is something that I have practiced for the last 10 years of my life, and I'm so grateful I have because I feel like I've never been so confident in the skin that I have, especially with my face, and that is always take your makeup off before bed. Wash your face, do your skincare routine. It doesn't have to be a 10-step skincare routine like TikTok will tell you, but do something. Make it 1 or 2 or even 3 steps. Take care of your skin on your face and your neck and your chest. You will thank yourself in your 30s. I get Botox, yes, but my skin is clean and good because I take care of it, and I have for the last 10 years. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's probably going to be a little on the longer side, but I really hope that these points help you out. I always want to be the big sister that I never had. I have a little sister, but I don't have a big sister, and had I had a big sister, it probably would have saved me from going through a lot of the hard things that I have. So take what you need from this video and feel free to comment below which one was your favorite. As always, thank you guys so much for stopping in on my channel, and I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye!